Chapter 4. Zane. I cannot believe how unorganized everything is in this gym. How they've managed to keep the business running is beyond me. The protein powders are haphazardly flung on the shelves without rhyme or reason, and I've spent way too much time helping Beth organize them. Remember, fruit flavors on the right and chocolate and vanilla flavors on the left, I say to Beth when we're finished. Got it, she says, but there's a subtle annoyance in her tone. Good. Now can I see the class schedule? Though I looked this up online, I want to see what the gym gives to customers. It's clear the website doesn't get updated much, and I want to make sure I'm looking at the correct schedule when I start making changes. One of the things the company told me when they hired me was that they were spending too much money on employees and not bringing in enough to cover their salaries. If we want to keep them on, we have to bring more money in, and I'm hoping it will be an easy fix, like offering better classes or at times more convenient for customers. I also plan on coming up with some deals on our powders and supplements. She hands me the schedule and I gaze over it. What is this class at 6 a.m.? That's Charlie's Move It or Lose It class. It's a gentle workout for those who are just getting back into shape. And how many people attend the class? I can't imagine it's many. The one thing this gym does seem to have is people who understand working out. I haven't seen anyone that would fit the criteria she gave. 3 most days, unless one of them is sick. But Charlie is great. She'll hold the class even if there's only one. My eyebrows lift. 3? We're holding a class and taking an employee off the floor for an hour for 3 people? Her face falls. They're very dedicated, and it's the only time they can come. They love her class. I shake my head. It doesn't matter how much they love it. That's not a good use of time or money. I need you to draft a sign that states classes must have 5 members or they will be canceled. She blinks at me, her face a portrait of disbelief. 5 members? Do you mean permanently or each time the class is scheduled? Each time it's scheduled. If 5 people aren't here, then there's no reason to have the class. But what if 4 show up ready to work out and the 5th person is sick? Then they can use the machines like everyone else or do their own thing in the room, but they won't get the instructor unless there are 5. She inhales and shakes her head. They aren't going to like that. Well, this is a policy we need to make sure we're growing the classes and not paying people to stand around. I skim the schedule again. We offer a class at 9 p.m.? Just 2 days a week, she says. But Charlie has a guy who works as a lawyer, and that's the only time he can come in. Is he the only person in the class? She shrugs, but it gives me my answer. Absolutely not. If he's the only client, then he can pay for a personal training session. A class with 1 person is not included in our membership. What's not included in our membership? I turn to see Charlie staring at me with arms folded across her chest. Her head is cocked to the side, and her eyebrows lifted in question. Classes with just 1 participant. We will be canceling any classes that have fewer than 5 participants. No, we won't, she says, shaking her head. I have regular clients who rely on those classes. And they can keep attending classes, but they'll need to bring a friend or come at a different time. You can't just come in here and change everything we do. She narrows her gaze at me. People expect things. They've grown accustomed to them. Actually, I can come in here and change things. In fact, that's what I was hired to do. So your people will either have to adjust their expectations or... Or what? I'm pretty sure they didn't hire you to run off all of our clients. She has me there. I can't exactly tell the people to go elsewhere because we need the business, but I can't say that out loud. There will have to be some changes going forward, I say instead, and this is one of them. Then, before she can say anything else, I head back to my office. There's more unpacking to do, and I need to come up with an answer before she presses me again. When I'm safely in the office, I shut the door and sink down into my chair. I can do this job. I know I can, but there are definitely some dynamics that are going to make that challenging, and Charlie appears to be one of those dynamics. I doubt she would have liked me even if we hadn't had that exchange in the restaurant the other day. The company told me she's been here the longest, and that she expected to get the promotion. But I think our first interaction made it harder for her to accept me as her boss. The reviews online tell me Charlie is a great trainer, but she must not know much about running a business or corporate would have hired her. However, I have to get her on my side because she's also influential, and if I want the employees to follow my lead, then I need to get Charlie to first, which may be easier said than done. Determined to delve into that more later, I turn my attention to the box of personal items I brought with me and began unpacking them. An expensive pen, a memento from my first season before the injury sidelined me, a chipped mug, a reminder that even injured I can be of use, and of course, a clock, because being on time is a priority. Once my desk is set up, I sit down and dive into the financial aspects of the company. This is where the biggest work will have to be done, so it's where I'll have to spend the most time learning the ins and outs. It's boring work, though, and as I start slogging through it, I'm tempted to grab one of the energy drinks we offer because I can feel my eyelids growing heavy. Just as my eyes are about to close, the sound of laughter filters through the door and wakes me up. Why is there laughter happening in the gym? I push back from my desk and open my office door. Charlie, Beth, and another woman I haven't met yet stand by the front desk. All three are covered in white powder and giggling. "What's going on here?" The laughter fades as they turn to face me. "It's my fault," Beth says apologetically. "I was having trouble getting the lid off the protein powder, and just as I did, someone dropped a weight and I jumped. The powder went everywhere, but don't worry, I'll clean it up." "You bet you will, and I'll be deducting the cost of the powder from your salary." "Wait a minute," Charlie says, stepping forward. "It was just an accident. Beth shouldn't be punished for that." I quirk an eyebrow and fix her with a pointed stare. "Well, someone has to cover the cost of the protein powder. Would you rather it be you?" Charlie folds her arms across her chest and fixes me with a pointed glare. "Fine, take it out of my pay, but I'm taking what's left with me." She grabs the canister forcefully and screws the lid back on, all the while eyeing me as if daring me to tell her no. "Fine by me." Though I should probably apologize and introduce myself to the unknown person still standing there gaping at me, I really hope they're not a client. I can't. I feel like I'm in a battle of wills with Charlie, and apologizing will throw it in her favor. So I simply turn around and walk back to my office.